What's going on YouTube? Dan here with Electric Reef, and today marks the 6-month mark of Electric Reef. So I skipped the 5-month update just because there was a lot going on and I was busy adding stuff to the tank and there wasn't really a lot of growth in that period. So let me go ahead and start out with what I'm doing differently as compared to what I was doing about a month ago. So I quit dosing Kalkwasser with my auto top-off system. It seemed really hard to keep my levels as stable as I wanted them, being that my tank is SPS dominant at this point. I wasn't seeing a lot of growth. I mean, things were still growing, but I just wasn't happy with the results I was getting. I was jumping anywhere from between, we'll say, 8.9 DKH and 8.2 DKH within a day's period. I know that's less than a full point of DKH, but I just wasn't happy with that much of a swing. So I switched over from dosing Kalkwasser to 2-part dosing alkalinity solution and calcium solution. Right now I'd say my levels jump between 8.6 DKH and 8.5 DKH. So water parameters are extremely stable at this point, and I'm loving the results I'm seeing. Just as soon as I started dosing, I'd say about 2 days after I started dosing, my Montipora started getting new growth on it, which before this, they weren't really growing at all. There wasn't much growth to them at all. Now some of my other SPS, like my Acros and my Bird's Nest, those things are just growing like crazy. So I'm really glad I switched over to 2-part. And I'll take you down here real quick and show you what I'm dosing with. I have a Bubble Magus, I believe it's the T401 or whatever. It's a dosing pump, 3-head dosing pump. And I just got these little Voss water containers. I drilled a hole in the top of bulkheads in and installed the lock line fittings going up. And I just got them coming down right there by the overflow down tube. So now that I'm dosing 2-part, everything seems like it's going really well. The corals seem like they like it better. I got a lot better polyp extension out of all of the SPS, and I'm really happy with the results at this point. I did switch my water changes from once a week, 5-gallon water change once a week, to a 5-gallon water change every 2 weeks. Reason being is my phosphates and my nitrates were undetectable using a sulfur test kit. I stopped using Fosguard, and I got a Hanna Checker phosphorus ultra low range checker, and you can convert that reading over to parts per million for phosphate. So right now, Hanna Checker gives me a reading of about 0.02 parts per million phosphate. That's right about where I want to be for running such a clean system. In my nitrates, I'm sitting at about 3 to 4 parts per million on my nitrates. So I'm extremely happy with how that's going. Once I took the Fosguard out, brought my phosphates up, started feeding a little bit more, I noticed a little bit of algae growth on the rocks, but it's extremely manageable, and that's when all my SPS corals really started coloring up and getting some life to them. So now that we got that out of the way, I just want to talk about what I've been doing, or what I dealt with lately. About a month ago, I got a flame hawkfish. 3 days later, it passed away. It died. Took it out of the system, took it to the fish shop, exchanged it for a cleaner shrimp and a 6-line wrasse. I put the 6-line wrasse in my tank, and a week later it decided it wanted to start attacking my clownfish and rip them up. The problem I had with this is I couldn't catch the 6-line wrasse, and my wife and I were scheduled to go on vacation not more than, say, 20 hours later. So I stuck a bobble trap down in the tank for about 12 hours, couldn't catch the wrasse, I decided to pull it out and do what I did not want to do and pull everything out of the tank. All the rock, The tank was drained about halfway down. So I'll stop right here and show you guys a picture of what I went through. A couple pictures anyway. So now that you got to see the mess, this is the rock structure now that I got everything back in the tank. It literally looked like a grenade went off in here for about 2 weeks. I had everything torn apart. I had to take corals off of rocks, move everything around, and I could not get the rock structure back to the way I originally had it. So what I ended up doing was moving most of the coral over to the right part of the tank and just stacking the rock the way I wanted it. So it's really similar to how I had it before, and the only rock that remained in place is this large one. Everything else was moved around and kind of resituated to get everything back to the way I had it. So I'm happy with this structure. It's pretty, like I said, it's pretty close to what I originally had, slightly different. And the main reason I had to change it up again was because I had all these SPS corals in here. My red dragon, my tort. I got this new guy from Rico. It's a green and purple color. My tenuous coral, my Seriatopora. Got another acro right here from Rico. Just all these were piled on that one rock on top, and it just wasn't cutting it. Wasn't enough room, and I want these things to eventually grow out and fill the top part of the tank, make it look like an actual part of the coral reef. So we got that all situated. Another problem I'm having is after I added my T5 lights, my anemones just went into a downward spiral. They're not doing good at all. They're tucked away in the back part of the tank, and it'll be hard for me to get a good video of them at this point. They just don't look like they're doing good. They're not moving a lot. They stay closed up. They're pale in color. Just really not doing good at all. So I don't know if it's something that I've been dosing in my tank or what it is. So if any of you guys out there have any suggestions, please let me know down in the comment sections. It'd be much appreciated. As far as new additions, I showed you guys the 2 acros that I put in there. I believe one is a branching and the other one's a tabling. We won't know too much more until they start growing in, but everything seems happy. The newest addition I have in this tank is a starry blenny. The wife named him Falcor. That's him sitting right there by the nori. He's a pretty cool little guy. He's got a lot of personality, swims around a lot. He's always hungry, but he's pretty cool. So yeah, clownfish, they survived the 6-line wrasse, and they're doing good. Everything healed up good. Each one of their eyes got pretty damaged, but it seems like they healed up real nicely, so there was no getting rid of them. I like them too much. They're just great personality in this tank, with the exception of them biting me whenever I clean the tank. So one other thing I want to mention about what I'm doing in here is twice a week I am dosing 10 milliliters of fuel by Aqua Vitro. It's got a bunch of amino acids in it and vitamins and whatnot that the coral use. When I started using that with the 2-part system, I'd have to say that's everything colored up really good. I think it's part of that and part of me raising my phosphates and nitrates. I think that helped out a lot with the coral colors. So I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing now. I do log everything in a book to keep good track of everything. That way, in case I run into any problems, I kind of know what to look at and say, okay, I did this and this is the problem I had. The Reef Octopus skimmer I put in here, the thing is still pulling crazy amounts of skimmate out of the water, and it's doing awesome. Got a lot of coralline algae growth. I got a little bit more flow in the tank added to Hydrocorallia power heads. Now all the power heads in there are going to be soon replaced with either the Jabo CP40, or I might pull the trigger and get the max spec gyres. I don't know yet. We'll see. But other than that, guys, that's about it as far as the 6-month update goes for Electric Reef. Observation vault is still underway. I'm done curing the rock for that. I just need to get a good light fixture together, and I want some of my softy corals and this main display here to grow out a little bit more so I can start fragging them and get those down into the observation vault so we can start running that experiment. Like always, guys, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down in the comment section, and hopefully we'll get another video up here soon and we can start really seeing some results as far as growth and everything goes. But I'll leave you guys here with some video of the tank, some coral up close shots of the coral and the fish swimming around. Thanks for watching, guys. Electric Reef out.